gonna crack this baby open and get right into it. Cheers. I was just thinking, I was like, I have not actually sat down and done like a very chatty Q&A YouTube video in a very long time. I think the last one I did was like debriefing our wedding, which was a year and a half ago. That's crazy to even say out loud. So I was like, you know what? Let's do like a chatty Q&A. I asked on my Instagram story, I just asked you guys, like, literally ask me anything you want. And you guys came with some good questions. I feel like a lot of these are gonna be like house related, running related, probably a lot of babies. I haven't even looked through them, but that's just what I'm assuming. Okay, let's start with a little advice. This one is best advice for newly married couple. Best advice. I would say like the biggest thing that Bronson and I have had to work on, and it's made our relationship so much better, is our communication. I know that's so broad, but communication in the sense of like get into an argument or a disagreement or whatever you want to call it, not being so emotional, like kind of taking a step back and like actually truly seeing the other person's perspective, which I know is super hard to do when you're in the moment and things are heated and you just want the other person to like hear your perspective and hear your side of things. It can get very hard to remember that they also have a reason that they're reacting the way that they are, and so like hear them out, try and see where they're coming from, and it's just made our conversations a lot more healthy. We've never like yelled at each other, like we would never do that, but we don't even really get like super heated or like raise our voice anymore because we've really practiced just being healthy communicators, if that makes sense. So it definitely takes some practice, and it has honestly taken us years. Like we really started to focus on it in college. Like we were like, okay, we're doing long distance, like we really need to have healthy communication. Yes, so if you can like make an effort to actually do that, and when you're in the midst of an argument or whatever, to like slow down and like think about your partner, because at the end of the day, it really is you two. Like you are a team. You want your relationship to be as healthy as possible. So yeah, that would be my biggest piece of advice. What is your favorite thing about where you are at in life right now? I would say my favorite thing about life right now is we spend a lot of time with our friends. Like I think your 20s is like before kids, it's such a unique time because life is just going to get very chaotic from here on out, like when we start having kids and stuff. And so having so much time to pour into our friendships is like something I will never take for granted. Like we pretty much see our friends on a daily basis, and I know that's like kind of rare, and yeah, I'm just like very, very thankful for that because I love our friends. Like we never get tired of them. Like I love having them over. I love that one day they're going to be like aunts and uncles to our babies, and like yeah, I just feel like we have such an incredible community around us, and it's so fun. It is so fun like getting to work out together. Like we really don't have that much responsibility, obviously. Like we're just in our 20s, like living life. It's fun to just like, I don't know, like have a group of people that are like so similar to you, and just like we love them so much. So that would be like my favorite part about life right now, because I know it's not always going to be like that, but I'm really enjoying that. Speaking of babies, there's like a million babies questions already. Yeah, Bronson and I talk about like starting a family literally every day. I am probably more antsy than he is, but he's getting more antsy because we've been spending a lot of time with our nieces and nephew, and like life's dream is just to be a mom. Like I've always wanted to be a mom. I love kids. It makes me so happy just even thinking about it, and like thinking about a little baby that's like half me, half Bronson is just, it makes me so giddy and so excited. Like we definitely are thinking about it, but like we're not trying at all right now. We're just kind of like getting to the point where we're like really excited about it, if that makes sense. We want like 3 or 4 kids. Like that's what we think that we want. I always say we think that we want because, you know, once you have one, I'm like, that could change. In my dream world, I want to have like 3 or 4 kids. Like I want to have a big family. So yeah, I mean, we talk about it every day. I'm not even kidding you. So we'll see. Actually, I have a good amount of new people following me, and I don't think everyone knows like Bronson and I's story about how we first met. So I'll kind of give you like the brief rundown, but Bronson and I are high school sweethearts. Like we met junior year of high school, and then we started dating senior year of high school. I actually went to homecoming. He had a girlfriend, and I actually went to homecoming with one of his best friends. So we were like in the same homecoming group junior year, but we didn't really even talk. I always thought Bronson was cute. Like, Bronson was Mr. Popular, like friends with everybody on the baseball team. Like, just he was a hunk, okay? And I like always knew who he was. But I was kind of the type of person who I'm very reserved until you crack me open. I was not super popular. Like, I had my group of friends, and then I had like my soccer friends outside of school. Bronson says he knew who I was, but like I don't believe that. I was like, you did not know who I was. Like, our school was huge. So anyways, I start hanging out with like Brooke and Tim, who all know Bronson. So we kind of just like start hanging out together. And then the first time I ever like interacted with Bronson was actually, we were sitting in the car before a baseball game, like me, Brooke, and our friend Julia. We were all sitting in the back seat, and Bronson and I think Kaysen were in the front seat. And those two were on the baseball team. The girls in high school would always get the guys like baseball numbers on their back. Like, we had these like shirts of like our high school team, and then you would get like somebody's number and somebody's last name on the back of your shirt. And I was like, well, I want to get a shirt, but I don't really know who's to get. Like, I don't want to just like get someone random. Like, that's weird. And I could just get it with no number, whatever. And Bronson like whips his head around. He's like, well, you can get mine. And I was like, okay. I was like, okay, I'll get your number, sure. And so I got his baseball number literally before I even really like we started talking or anything. That was like one of the first times that we like truly hung out. And then we went on our first date, official date. Like, he got my number and my Snapchat, and we were like Snapchatting, whatever. And it was actually to the movies with literally the entire baseball team. Like, they were all going to like go see a movie. I can't remember what movie we saw. He was like, do you want to come with us? And I was like, sure. And so like Bronson and I like sat together, and that was like our first date, kind of. And then we had dates after that, and then the rest is history. Oh, we gotta talk about this. Someone's asking my thoughts on the Bachelorette finale. Dude, that was so sad. And like, hearing Spencer's perspective on it like just makes me look at the whole show like a bit differently, just because there's so many love shows out there, like dating shows out there, and I feel like what people are drawn to is like the realness of it. Bachelor just seems so produced. It just seems so overproduced. Like, honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of it anymore, especially with the way that they handled the Jen and Devin situation. Like, it was so obvious that he was just on there for TV. Like, that was so obvious. And the way that he just like basically ghosted her after they got engaged, like, dude, he's just an idiot. Literally an idiot. Like, I'm proud of her for standing up for herself, though. Like, I feel like a lot of girls in her situation like wouldn't say really what they mean to say. So I think she did good like saying her piece. The fact that they made her watch that proposal over again feels so horrible for her. Like, that is like traumatic. Like, I felt like we were watching something literally traumatic happen to Jen on live television. I felt like very uncomfortable watching it, honestly. So I just feel really sad for her. Yeah, but I'm like, hopefully she finds someone that's like perfect for her. So we'll see. Anyways, I was just like literally sad about it. Advice for navigating relationships with different opinion on religion. I love this question. We actually talked to our good friends about this the other day. My goal in life is to show Jesus. Show Jesus to everyone that I come in contact with. And I just think Christians nowadays can be quick to be very judgmental. Like, I think there is something to be said about like having your inner circle, like the people that hold you accountable and like know you the best. They like have similar values to you because they're going to be able to hold you accountable, right? I think it is one of the most un-Christian like things if you're going to sit there and be like, I'm not going to be friends with so-and-so, or I'm not going to have a relationship with so-and-so because like they differ on views on religion. Like, that is not how I would ever go about things, honestly. Because if you were ever going to show someone Jesus, like, you being a Christian and like giving them the cold shoulder or refusing to have a friendship with them is just like the exact opposite of what Jesus would do. Like, Jesus hung out with sinners. Like, Jesus, he loved everyone. And it's just, it makes me really sad that people have like church hurt or like have been hurt by other Christians simply because like they've just been like super judgmental, and it just it's something I'm actually very passionate about, because I'm just like that's not what Christianity is about, and it is really sad and makes me like very frustrated when like Christians act that way. Anyways, I'm gonna get off my soapbox, but that's my 2 cents on that. There's a good amount of questions about like just all over the place about my nutrition coach and like my coaching and everything. I officially started this week with him, and I'm so excited. Like, it is so nice. He gives me my exact macros, my exact meals every single time of the day, and it is like so nice just not even having to like think about that. I literally pre-track my whole day, and all I have to do is just go down and like eat what I'm supposed to eat. It just has made it so doable, which like I've never felt that way about nutrition before. I've always felt that nutrition was the one thing that I was like, I just can't get this right. Like, I really try, but I'm like, when it's up to me, and I don't have anyone like checking in or like being accountable, it's hard to get right, okay? But I literally love it so far. Like, he's been really great, and he's working with me. His name is Jeremy. I will link his Instagram in below if you guys want to work with him. I don't know if he's taking on new clients, but he's really been great. He like gets me the right supplements. He helped break down all my blood work, and so I'm like on a good amount of supplements that I just should be taking every day. Yeah, it's been great. So the first few weeks, he's like, I don't want you to lose or gain a single pound. Like, we want to get you at a very good starting point. Then we can kind of adjust whether we take away calories or we add calories based on like, because I'm going to be running a lot. I'm just doing a lot of exercise, so it just depends on all of that. There's a lot of different factors. What are a few things you're doing differently for this marathon training block? I am actually doing quite a bit differently. First part of this question, I have to give you some backstory about last year. Last year, we basically spent the entire year running, which I don't know if I would really recommend that. Like, if you're an avid runner, you do you. But I was like very new into long distance running, and I was just like riding the wave. So not last year, but the year previous, I had run a half marathon, and then we started, we took a good amount of break, and then we started training for the marathon early in the year. Like, I'm pretty sure we started training like in like February. And then we had Hell on Hogsback, which was the ultra marathon. So I actually ran an ultra marathon before I ran my first official marathon, and I ended up getting like 35 miles. It was like a 12-hour race up and down this hill, and so we trained up until Hell on Hogsback, and then we did that race. That race was exhausting. Like, that put me out for a few days. Like, I was like, I need some time to recover. So I took about a month off, and then I started training right after that month for the Dallas Marathon, and I trained for the rest of the year. And by the time the marathon came around, I was just so exhausted. Like, I took 4 to 6 weeks, I can't remember exactly, off before the marathon, because I was like, I am exhausted. Like, I cannot run another step. I cannot do it. Yeah, so I just did not have a good experience with the marathon. The day of, I was like, do I want to run it? Do I want to run it? I don't know. I could just not do it. I ended up doing it, and I'm happy that I did it. My time was like 4:02 or 4:03. It was just over 4 hours, and my goal was under 4 hours. But I felt so horrible. Like, basically the second half of the marathon, I was exhausted. Like, I tanked, did not feel good, walked a little bit. Like, it was just not my best showing, okay? And I was like, I will never run another marathon. That was just not my vibe. I didn't love it. But in hindsight, it was just because I took those weeks off before training, and I was just burnt out. So this time around, I'm giving myself a full 16 weeks before the marathon. I'm doing the training program to a T. I am taking my rest days fully. Like, yesterday was a rest day, didn't do anything. Like, I am going to be fully taking my rest days. I also am going to prioritize recovery, so I'm really trying to like get in the Normatex, do the cold tubs, do sauna, go on recovery walks, like do stuff like that, stretch, warm up. Jeez, I need to warm up. I'm so bad about warming up. I'm just gonna fully commit to the program, whereas last time I just had burned myself out. It wasn't the vibe. So yeah, I'm hoping, ideally a time would be 3:45. Like, that's like a dream time. I will be happy with anything under 4. But like, if we're dreaming, anything under 3:45, around 3:45 would be ideal. I'm also like really sticking to strength training, because last training block I didn't stick to the strength training. I just like did the runs, and that was pretty much it. And it was just really caught up to me, and I felt like that's why I was like having some knee pain and like having some IT pain, and just little things, is because I think I was like strictly running and not keeping up with my strength training. I think that has a big thing to do with it. dealing with the loss of friends in adulthood. I wouldn't necessarily say I'm dealing with the loss of friends, but a lot of my friendships have changed over the years. I think that just comes with like growing up and like priorities being different and like changing for people. And for me, I love all my friends, but I don't feel the need to talk to them every single day. And I think that's where it gets really complicated. I also think it's different because like I'm in a different phase of my life than a lot of my other friends, because a lot of my other friends are younger. When you get married, I feel like your priorities kind of shift a lot towards your marriage, and it's really, you're just not around your friends all the time. Like you don't live next door to your friends. You don't live in the same house as your friends. You don't see them every single day, especially if they don't live near you. I do really try and like text my friends like, hi, how are you doing? Like I should be better about it and do it more often. But I think as you grow older, like friendships change, and that's totally okay. It's just something that you kind of have to talk through with your friends, because if you don't, it's just going to feel that like you're drifting. I feel really blessed with my friendships because I feel like everybody's kind of on the same page. Like we're all super busy, super driven, super motivated, whether it's like marriages, career, traveling, family, like whatever it is. Everybody has their own stuff, and we all kind of like understand that. And so there's no pressure to like, we need to talk every day. Like there's no drama really. I'm really thankful for all of my friends. So, but then in the same breath, like there are those like friendship losses, and that really hurts and it's hard to come to terms with. But I think like just as saying of like there's friends for a reason, a season, and for life, like I think that that's so true. And like some friends genuinely just are for a season, or they're for a reason. They come into your life and they teach you something, or they help you grow. And I think you have to appreciate the friendship for what it was and not like force it into this box of like a forever friendship if that's just genuinely what it's not meant to be. And just like talking to your friends about things. Like I think me personally, I don't love like bringing up when my feelings are hurt, or like topics where it's like upsetting to talk about or like uncomfortable to talk about. I don't like doing that, especially with my friends. That's something that I really need to work on, but I do think it is really healthy to do, is like if your feelings are hurt in a friendship and you feel that friendship is definitely like worth salvaging, like reach out and talk about things. Because if you're feeling it, the other friend is probably feeling it too. But I mean, adult friendships are hard. Like they're just really hard to navigate because everyone is just so busy, and it's just life gets busy. Life comes at you fast. Okay, there's a few questions about run clubs. Powders Run Club. We really want to do like a meetup. We're trying to figure out how to do it because weekly just doesn't make sense with how much we're gone, and like we want to be there for these run clubs. So we're thinking about like one every other month and like doing it in like a big meetup, maybe like a city. I don't know if you guys would like that. We're definitely down to do that. Like we want to come and like do way more community events. We love community events. We just are really bad at planning them. Also, if you have a run club, like we would love to send you some powders. Genuinely, just reach out. I'll put an email that you can reach out to, and if you have a run club, like send us a little blurb, and we love to sponsor run clubs. Like we love to send you guys electrolytes. Just get the word out there. It's just fun for us to kind of like see powders all over the place. But yeah, we definitely want to do more community stuff. That was our goal for this year, and I feel like we've done like a kind of good job on it. I feel like we've been more like collabing with brands rather than doing our own, but I really want to get to the point where we can like do our own big events. Like that would be so fun. There's a lot of questions on birth control if you want to get a little into the nitty gritty. I'm like pretty much an open book. I will share anything. Bronson and sorry, my camera died, so I had to charge it for a little bit. What were we talking? Oh, birth control. Yeah, okay, so I'll just be completely transparent. I'm not on any type of birth control. I stopped hormonal birth control in college. I just like literally stopped taking it. I didn't even talk to my doctor or anything. I just stopped taking it, and I've never taken it since. We just use condoms, that's it. So that's it. That's the tea. It is annoying and inconvenient, but it is what it is. I also use Natural Cycles. I know so many people use Natural Cycles. I do have the Aura Ring specifically for that. Like that's pretty much the only reason that I use the Aura Ring, is to just track my temperature, because you're supposed to do it like right away every morning, first thing in the morning. So it's nice to just have this and it does it automatically. I don't really use like anything else for this. I mainly use my Garmin for like everything else. I'm not even wearing it right now, but my Garmin, okay, if you're in between the two, I would choose the Garmin all day, every day, just because the Garmin is like a true fitness tracker, and that's most important to me. I don't think this does a very good job at fitness tracking, like at all. I don't think anything is super accurate on it. Just my own personal opinion. The only reason I do it is just for my temperature. Also, the Garmin has sleep tracking. I just don't do it because I can't sleep in a watch. Like, I just physically cannot get myself to sleep in a watch. If you can sleep in a watch, I've heard their sleep tracking is amazing. If you're looking into the Garmin, like that's another little added benefit. But anyways, yeah, that's what I do for birth control. Okay, last one for the day. How do you feel with feeling directionless in your 20s? I feel you. I literally feel you. I feel like I wrestle with like, what am I supposed to do with my life every single day? Whether that's career, who I want to be in life. I think it really takes a lot of like soul searching and just being with yourself and like putting in the time and effort to actually figure that out. Because I think most people just go through life doing what their parents told them to do or doing what's expected of them. And they don't really like reflect and be like, okay, what do I want out of my life? What do I want to be known for? Like, what do I want people to remember me as? What am I passionate about? I think it takes a lot of effort and like a lot of alone time and quiet time to figure that out. I also think that can change like all the time. I think people's passions and purpose in life are kind of constantly changing as you change and evolve and like become like a better version of yourself. I think that it's okay to like change those things. But my biggest piece of advice that I know is like super hard to do, just because once you get in a job, it's like scary to quit or it's scary to change directions or try something new. But you're never going to know if you're passionate about something or if you're meant to be doing something if you don't try it. So just like putting yourself out there and trying new things, whether that's like joining a club or applying for a new job. Yeah, I just think people don't put themselves out there enough because they like to be comfortable, and I don't think that's where you grow. Like, you grow when you're uncomfortable. So the more that you can put yourself in uncomfortable situations, the more that you realize, okay, I really like that, or I did not really like that. And either way, you learn something new about yourself, which is going to bring you closer to like finding your true path in life. I also just want to remind you, like, God does have a path for your life. And if you feel directionless now, like, it's not always going to feel that way. Most of the time down the line, you're going to look back on like a time in your life that was really hard. You're going to be like, oh, so that's why I had to like walk through that, is to like reach this point in my life that God already knew was going to happen. I just want to give you a little encouragement. Like, your path is already set out for you. And so have a little bit of faith in that. Have a little bit of faith that it'll all work out. Just also, it is up to you to put yourself in these uncomfortable situations to grow into that person that you're called to be. So anyways, thank you for listening to me yap for a while. I really enjoy sitting down and just like chatting. I could honestly talk for hours, I'm not gonna lie. But we should do this more. We should get a coffee, get a Topo Chico. We should do this more. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And I will see you guys in my next video. Love y'all. Oh, I got a burp.